Hello, hello, hello. I am making a video with Toblerone, and I know that I should not be eating Toblerone, but once in a while I'm gonna eat a third of a Toblerone and enjoy my life. And I made a video for my OnlyFans account. This is the third attempt now. The other accounts didn't work out, and I'm infinitely grateful to Jose for working on this and getting that all ready and all figured out. So I made a video and I did belly dancing. I showed my belly, a little bit of the booty, like a quarter of the booty. And I talked about the porn industry and the people I worked with in LA and why what they're doing there is not exactly what I want to do. They're doing it wrong. You know, they do everything they do too fast, and it then has to be like, it has to be crudish. And that's not my style. So, and it felt really bad for me to have to be saying some crudish stuff, that something I would normally not say. Felt bad. It was lame. But, the kid I was working with, young guy, it was pretty good. He was fun. And another guy, Dave Perry, the cum brother. I don't know where Dave Perry is now. I looked for him, couldn't find him. I hope he's still alive. Or maybe he might be in a convalescent home now. That could be too, because Dave is older than I am. The kid is probably still out there. I have no idea where. I have no idea where those videos are now, those movies. But they're out there somewhere. And there's my artwork in the background. So anyone who comes across those videos, they will recognize my artwork. Because I have 4 very large acrylic on canvas paintings behind my bed where we were filming those scenes. But that's not how I would be conducting it. The way I would do it is, I got a hair here. The way I would do it is, I would make a 3-hour-long movie with everything in it, with emotions, going through the inwardness meditation process, actually going through it in the film, feeling the roles, and then towards the end, as a reward for all of that psychological and the seriousness and the inwardness process, and the tears people will cry, and the education and the proper music by Mozart. Towards the very end will be the reward. That's when the queen gets to play with her disciple. Okay. It's a feminist porno movie. The queen, middle-aged queen, who is still fertile, say, "Come here, disciple. Let me teach you something." And the disciple says, "Okay." And it will be it will be a setup of very, very soft, gentle touch. And then doing something else. And a little bit tickling. And then doing something else. And then gradually, very gradually building it up. Okay? Until the queen says, "Okay, now this is agonizing. I need help." And then the disciple will help with that. And it will be absolutely gorgeous and beautiful and slow. He will do it slowly from behind. I hope this is accepted by you too. It probably is too much. It probably has to be declared as this is so incredibly wrong, all of this. And that's why I talk about this, because that's why I address all of these things also from a psychological point of view, from a sociological point of view, from a political point of view, because all of this censorship and this labeling, this has to be labeled child safe, this has to be labeled normal, this has to be labeled kinky, this has to be labeled this or that or that. And then and then the Christians, they cannot watch that. Or the Mormons, and if they watch it anyway, they're told that they will go to hell, or they were told that Nicola is a demon, or a devil, or a witch. All of this is insane. Okay, that's what that is, and that's why I bring it up, because, and also, the separation between Hollywood movies and pornography, that is a ridiculous, moronic separation. And also the separation between acceptable fine arts and cartoon arts and toy arts and fun art. Why is there a separation? Why is there a separation? And that's what I love about Takashi, the artist from Japan. Takashi Murakami, famous artist, rising up as the absolute superstar of art now, because he mixes all of this. He mixes all of these themes. He mixes cartoon, utility art, toys, things people already know, as also Jeff Koons has been doing. Those are great artists. And he mixes in pornography as well. He mixes in the senses. Our senses, they have to be mixed into art. They are involved in art. They're already part of art. Okay. If we look at a piece of art, what does it do? It's not just for some kind of, when I laugh, I always have this mucus building up. It's always been like this. So it's already, when we look at a piece of art, this should already be very pleasing to our senses, okay? And it should not be separated out into something that is like seriously looked at, like from an art critic who says, well, this is fine art and this is not fine art, you know. So making a distinction like this. People like Takashi and also Nikita Safal and Jeff Koons and some other artists and myself, okay, with my own art. I want to leap out of all of these confinements of society with everything I do, you know, with my art and with my movie that I want to make in the future. I want to show the world that all of this is in one life, okay? This is part of us. All of these aspects, okay, is part of us. And that we need to completely dissolve all the shame and the pride that comes with the shame. You know, people who have deep wounds of shame inside of them, they act out with pride. You know, they want to see themselves as superior. They cannot date a chubby woman. They cannot be seen with a chubby woman anywhere in public. You know, they have to be, they want to be respectable. They want to be honored. All of this is a deep wound. This is a deep trauma that needs to be dissolved, needs to be healed. And I want to help people heal this with that movie that I want to make. So it's a future project. So I don't know how to do it. I've been thinking about this for a long time. For many, many years. I want to bring Mozart in. I want to bring the Requiem in. I want to bring the Great Mass into this film. The film should be dominated by this music. And I want to bring all the sensual pleasures and all the emotional feelings. I want to bring in the inwardness meditation process where people really go through all of these emotions and starting with the present, you know, starting with jealousy feelings, starting with abandonment feelings, starting with the need, an incessant need. We all have it, you know, most people don't admit to it. Incessant need for physical touch. This need always gets mixed in with the sexual needs, of course. And it's very difficult to figure out which is actually your natural sexual need and which one is the childhood need. It gets interwoven. And because it gets interwoven so much, that's why people end up in the wrong relationships. They end up acting out with someone, needing the mother. I've done it my whole life. Okay, the men who actually lusted after my body, I dismissed them as kind of scary, actually. You know, kind of like, oh, they're creeps, or they're voyeuristic stalkers, or I wonder if they washed themselves, you know. How many women have they touched? how many STDs do they carry in their bloodstream? All of these things, that went through my mind, and I could have had a much easier life had I just accepted them. Yeah. And it would have been so much fun. I had, the physician, that guy. That guy was really, really creepy. Good-looking guy and everything, but the way he treated me, when I was 19, I don't know how old he was. He was like 40 or something, and the way he treated me, it just brought up sexual molestation. That's what it did. And then I go into no, I gotta go. And then he showed up at my grandfather's house one time. And then my grandfather said, "Come here, this is your friend here." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, no, that is not my friend." And the guy was like, "Hmm." And then my grandfather, he saw, he was looking at me, and he said, and I was like, okay, bye. But that's, when we are teenagers, we feel creeped out by that kind of stuff. When we get to become big old border mothers, that whole thing changes dramatically. So now, if I came across that guy, if he was still the same age, which he isn't, of course, he's in a wheelchair now, but let's just assume, I go back into that situation as I am now, I would be dealing with this completely differently. I would say, "Come here, help me out." Yeah, that's because I have been working on myself. I've been working on this pain. I have worked a lot of that out already. I have painted this out my entire childhood. Been always painting out these molestation situations. That was absolutely traumatic for us children. And it can destroy someone's happiness for the rest of their life. Okay, that's what that does. That's why I'm saying we all need therapy desperately. Everyone, every man who wants to become a father, they need to desperately work on themselves. And that's also another thing is, when I had my psychotic boyfriend, I told everybody, because he wanted 4 children. So I told everyone, yeah, we're going to have 4 children. And my mother was like, "No, that's a nightmarish scenario." She already saw these psychotic, red-headed little kids there in her living room. like Norbert. They're completely out of it. Schizophrenic. Cluster A, schizoid personality disorder. And it doesn't mean that the kids become like this. But I suddenly had this insight on the street. I thought, okay, let me go into the future extrapolation, theoretically, hypothetical future extrapolation. I have 4 kids with that guy, with that schizophrenic man, and one of them is a girl. And he's going to molest her and ruin her for the rest of her life. And I thought, okay, I'm not going to have kids with Norbert. It's not going to happen. I'm also not going to marry this guy. I never wanted to marry anyone. I only did this here because I'm an immigrant, so for that kind of reasoning, but not for anything romantic, nostalgic Christian institution or something like this. That I don't believe in it. I don't believe in marriage. I don't believe in life insurance. These two things go hand in hand, by the way. I believe in healing our mental illness. I believe in wellness. I believe in the inwardness meditation process where every single person is going to work through their mental illness, their childhood trauma, so that then later on they are not going to do to their children what their parents have done to them. Okay, that is my mission, and that's what I am going to be working on for the rest of my life. I'm also going to be working on personhood rights for animals. I have petitions running. They will run all the way to the very end and hopefully beyond. Okay, so you guys take care.